The Witch is directed by Robert Eggers and stars a whole bunch of people that you've never heard of, and is the scariest movie I've seen in years. The Witch is a movie that I was super excited to see because the trailers really pulled me in, and it really showed me this atmosphere that I was really excited to see, and my God, did it not let me down. This movie was terrifying. And I'm going to say this right off the bat. It's not a movie that is a traditional horror film. A lot of traditional horror films, especially nowadays, are jump scares, jump scares, jump scares, and they just pop out and like make things pop out of you, and then that's what makes the movie scary, if you call that scary. But those don't really terrify you. This movie is the exact opposite. There's not one jump scare in this thing. This movie is all about the atmosphere. It's all about the tone. And it starts right away from the very first shot into the very last shot. It's all about the tone. This movie is 100% atmosphere, and it's set up by the beautiful, beautiful cinematography. It puts you into this old-timey era that the movie takes place. It's way back in early. It's like a New England folktale, so it's like way back in Old English times, and the whole movie is they talk in Old English, and the only characters in the movie are this one family. It's this the mother and father, and then their older daughter, who the movie focuses mostly on, and then the younger son, and then their two twins, and then the baby. So that's the only people in the whole movie, and it focuses all on them and around their farmhouse that they have in Old England, and it sets up this tone from the very beginning, and you feel like you're there. Like the movie feels like you are actually watching true. It feels almost like a documentary of something that actually happened. It's so creepy in that way, because everything that happens, it's like, oh my God, like is this actually happening? And you feel like just so creeped out by it. And the movie sets up this tone that is just creepy, and the score, it comes in, and it's barely used. It's used very selectively, and it comes in at the right parts, and it really builds up the tension. And that's the biggest thing about this movie, is that it builds tension. There's not too many scares in this thing. It's mostly a pretty dramatic movie. You know, the whole movie isn't full of just scary things. It's mostly a dramatic thing, and it builds tension. It's a slow burn, and it builds the tension, and it builds the tension, and it builds the tension, and then at the end of the movie, you're just holding on, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And trust me, it's not that the movie isn't scary, because, oh my God, there's some really, really creepy imagery in here, and some super scary scenes, but the movie is mostly going for a creepy atmosphere that really just gets into your bones, and it just sends shivers down your spine the whole film. And that's what this movie does perfectly. It has wonderful direction. All the actors in this thing are fantastic. I don't know any of them. I'm sure that I've seen maybe the main actor in a few different things, but no one else. I don't know any of these people, and they all blew me away. They all did a fantastic job. There's only a few characters in the whole thing, so they have to do good, or otherwise the movie's just gonna fail. And this thing I was really surprised with, because the movie mainly focuses on the kids. You know, the parents are there, and like they're prominent, but the kids are the main focus, and the main girl does a fantastic job. All the kids give great performances, and I have nothing to complain about there. The director really directed them well, and knew exactly the performance he wanted out of them. And the thing with this movie is the director wrote it, and he's not a very famous director, and I've never seen any of his films. I think this is one of his first big Hollywood films, and so this is a movie that he really spent a lot of time on, and he really cared about the story, and it shows, because through the writing and through the directing, he tells this slow-paced story that to some may seem boring, because it definitely has a very slow burn, and there's not jump scares all the time. You know, it's not scary all the time. It just sets up a creepy atmosphere. And so some people might be turned off by that. And even me, I was loving watching the movie, and in some parts it does seem a little bit slow. That's the only flaw that I would say the movie has, is that it does get, not boring, it's just so slow that you're like, okay, are we going to get to the next scene? Because it's like, I want to see something scary again, because it's a scary movie and that's what you want. But you get into the story, you get pulled in, and it really creeps you out really bad. This is a movie that I'm happy I saw it. I really enjoyed watching it. It's super creepy. It's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. But I don't know if I want to see it again. I saw it with my girlfriend, and after the movie ended, she was like, "I'm never seeing that ever again." This movie like affected her. She didn't even want to talk about it. It was it really gets under your skin in that way, and in some ways that's almost a flaw, because you want to be able to rewatch these kind of movies, and I have to take that into count of, like, that's not exactly a flaw, but it's not good. It's like you want to be able to rewatch these things, but this gets so under your skin that you don't even want to think about it because it's so creepy. So yeah, I mean, so it was a little bit really slow paced, and the rewatchability thing might not be there for some people, but that's pretty much it. Everything else about this film really blew me away. The acting, the directing, the cinematography, the score, everything, the feel of the movie. It was all about the atmosphere. If you like scary movies and you really wanna be psychologically messed with, go see this movie. I definitely recommend it. If you're just more into like horror films, slasher films, and everything, you might not be into it, so it might let you down a little bit in that way. So manage your expectations here, because it's definitely a very slow movie, and you have to know that going in, so you're not too disappointed by it. But I can't see anyone not being super creeped out by this movie. I'm gonna have to go 4.5 out of 5 for this one. I really enjoyed it. It was super creepy. I don't know if I'm going to see it again. My girlfriend is definitely not going to, but I definitely recommend it. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more reviews from a guy like me, you can subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one.